Namaskar, I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. This is Tracking COVID-19. As the name suggests, in the next half an hour, we take stock of all the major corona outbreak-related updates from India and the world. After 26 days of strict lockdown, some sectors of economy have opened up today at home, although some adversely affected states have decided not to allow any relaxation. More on that in the show up ahead. While United States works on a relief package to deal with the onslaught of the virus, UAE has said that social directives in times of COVID-19 must be adhered to as the holy month of Ramzan approaches. We will also bring you inspiring stories and experts' advice to keep the disease at bay. Let's begin with the headlines. Lockdown relaxed from today to facilitate certain economic activities such as agriculture, medical and public construction in non-containment zones. Centre cautions states not to open up activities other than specified in the MHA guidelines. Toll collection begins in national highways from today. 3 states including Delhi, Punjab, Telangana decide not to ease lockdown. All India active corona positive cases stand at 14,175. Death toll stands at 543, while more than 2,500 people have been cured and discharged. Amid reports of sharp spike in corona cases in states like Maharashtra and Delhi, good news comes from Goa and Manipur. Both states have been declared corona-free. Prime Minister Narendra Modi shares his ideas on COVID-19 crisis on social media, calls for the youth to take lead role with their innovative zeal to provide a new work culture, calls for social unity in the times of crisis. India slams Pakistan on Pak PM's comments on India's internal affairs. External Affairs Ministry says instead of concentrating on fighting COVID-19, Pakistan is making baseless allegations in order to shift focus from its own abysmal record of treating minorities. COVID-19 cases continue to spiral globally with more than 24 lakh cases and 1.65 lakh fatalities. In worst affected United States, death toll nears 41,000. As the holy month of Ramzan begins this week, several countries including Saudi Arabia and UAE and leading Muslim clerics issue strict guidelines for offering prayers at home and avoiding public gatherings during Ramzan. Now let's first look at COVID-related developments in India in Ground Zero. In the first easing of lockdown measures for COVID-19, hotels in Kerala, highway dhabas in Haryana, tea gardens in West Bengal and mining in Jharkhand will be among the establishments that will open for businesses from today as states across India partially lift curbs as part of a staggered reopening of the economy. The selective relaxation allowed by the centre during the second phase of nationwide lockdown in force till May 3rd focuses on rural sector and daily wage earners and does not apply to so-called hotspots districts. It is to be noted that these easing of restrictions will not be applicable in the containment zones. The easing of restrictions in various sectors include all health services, including Ayush, all agricultural and horticultural activities, operations of fishing, marine and inland aquaculture industry, plantation activities such as tea, coffee and rubber plantation with a maximum of 50% workforce, animal husbandry, financial sector, social sector, Manrega workers with strict implementation of social distancing and face masks, public utilities, movement of loading, unloading of goods, cargo, inter or intrastate, online teaching, distance learning is to be encouraged, supply of essential goods, commercial and private establishments, industries, industrial establishments, both government and private, construction activities, private vehicles for emergency services only and medical veterinary care for procuring essential commodities and for personal travelling to place of work in the exempted categories as per instructions given by states and union territories, local authority and the offices of Government of India, offices of state and union territories. However, states like Punjab, Telangana have refused to relax the lockdown situation and have announced extension of it from May 3rd and 7th, respectively. Meanwhile, a Delhi government has announced that there will be no relaxation in lockdown from Monday, that is today, 20th April, as the number of coronavirus cases continue to rise in the national capital. The state government will review its decision after a week. Delhi government has been increasing the number of containment zones over the last week. As of late last evening, there were 76 such zones after 8 fresh containment zones were announced. Some of the directions coming in from the national capital, Delhi government gave out these directions. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Home Affairs has written to some states and union territories who are making their own list of essential activities and relaxations, asking them not to dilute provisions of consolidated revised guidelines. In the letter, MHA has asked them to ensure compliance of the revised consolidated guidelines and direct all concerned authorities for their strict implementation without any dilution, and to ensure that strict compliance of lockdown measures is adhered to. The centre has said this is not permissible under the Disaster Management Act 2005 and has cited Supreme Court observation to be read as a direction. Let's look at the latest data, India's COVID-19 update. A COVID-19 outbreak in the country has recorded 17,265 total positive cases, including 14,175 active cases. 2,546 people have recovered. They've been cured, discharged from hospital. However, 543 fatalities have been recorded in the country. Maharashtra ranks number 1 in the country with more than 4,200 cases, followed by the national capital, which has crossed the 2,000 mark as far as total cases are concerned. 7 states, including Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, have registered more than 1,000 cases in the country. Now, as the holy month of Ramzan begins later this week in view of corona pandemic, prominent Muslim clerics from Jammu region have appealed to people to stay in their homes and offer their prayers at home, maintaining social distancing.
जो हुकूमत ने यानी गाइडलाइन दी है हमें सोशल डिस्टेंस की और सेहत के एतबार से जो है अलग अलग रहने की, मस्जिदों को बंद करने की, रमज़ानुल मुबारक के महीने में हुकूमत या दुनिया का कोई आदमी आपको रोज़े रखने से नहीं रोक रहा, आपको नमाज पढ़ने से नहीं रोक रहा, आपको किसी चीज़ से नहीं रोक रहा। सिर्फ आपको रोक इससे रहे हैं कि आप जमा कहीं ना हो, गैदरिंग ना करें, आप सोशल डिस्टेंस रखें।
कुछ जो इंतज़ाम किया गया है वो हमारी ही भलाई के लिए है, और कुछ लोग इस तरीके से सोच रहे हैं कि हो सकता है कि सरकार की तरफ से हमारे ऊपर कोई प्रेशर डाला जा रहा है। ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। इसी वबा से बचने के लिए कि हम भी सेफ़ रहें और दूसरे भी सेफ़ रहें।
कि जो ये बीमारी फैली हुई है, इसके अंदर ख़ास करके गवर्नमेंट ने और जहाँ के हमारे यहाँ के मीडिया ने और सब ने जो है ये कहा है कि इसमें इनफरादी तौर ही रहा जाए और अपने घरों के अंदर ही रहा जाए। और रहा मसला नमाज का और दीगर इबादत का, तो इसके अंदर तो बेहतर सबसे मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि नमाज हो या कोई भी इबादत हो मजमूई तौर पे इकट्ठा होकर वो ना की जाए, और इनफरादी तौर पे वो अपने अपने घरों के अंदर ही जो है उसका पालन किया जाए और उसको देख रेख जो है अपने घरों के अंदर ही तक महदूद रह जाएँ।
The government has made it clear that there will be no reduction in employees' pension by 30% and terminate it over those above the age of 80 in the context of COVID-19. Now, this is a rumor. This was circulated by some media reports. Here are the details of that. There is no such reduction of pension. The PIB fact-check team has clarified that. There was a rumor doing round that government may slash pension of employees up to 30%. No such step is being taken. It's a rumor. Do not believe such fake news. Time now for some news that inspire hope in the fight against coronavirus in good news. Goa has become the first Indian state to rid itself of coronavirus, as all of its 7 patients who had earlier tested positive have now recovered from the infection. Chief Minister Pramod Sawant said that the state had been strictly following the lockdown rules, from the sealing of the state borders to enforcing the restrictions on the movement of people since January 22nd. And earlier also when Prime Minister announced the Janta curfew, it was followed rigorously.
खुशी हो रही है कि गोवा में 0 केसेस कोविड के आफ्टर द 3rd अप्रैल एक भी पॉजिटिव केस नहीं मिली है और लास्ट पेशेंट जो था नेगेटिव आ गया है। मुझे अनाउंस करते वक्त कि गोवा में एक भी इस वक्त पॉजिटिव पेशेंट नहीं है, बहुत खुशी की बात है। मैं कॉन्ग्रेचुलेट करता हूँ हमारी पूरी कोविड हॉस्पिटल की टीम।
Following the footsteps of Goa, Manipur has become corona-free as well. Manipur Chief Minister took to Twitter to share the good news from the northeast. Chief Minister informed that the state has become corona-free as 2 corona-positive patients have now tested negative. He said, "I'm glad to share that Manipur is now corona-free. Both the patients have fully recovered. They've tested negative. There are no fresh cases of the virus in the state. This has been possible because of cooperation of the public and medical staff and strict enforcement of lockdown." Now, amid the lockdown, several organizations have come forward to help people. Northeastern state, maybe such organizations are helping people. One such organization is Gurudwara Sri Singh Sabha. They're providing essential items to people at affordable prices in Imphal.
ड्यू टू कोविड-19 तो हर एक जगह ये प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है जिसमें एसेंशियल कम्युनिटी प्रोवाइड नहीं हो पा रहा है। काफ़ी जगह होर्डिंग्स हो रहा है जो कि हाई रेट्स में सेल आउट हो रहा है। तो विद द हेल्प ऑफ ऑल द बाजार कम्युनिटीज़ एंड एवरीवन वी हैव मेड ए प्रॉपर राशन स्टोर इनसाइड एंड वी आर ट्राइंग आवर लेवल बेस्ट टू प्रोवाइड द राशन टू द नीडफुल पर्सन फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एट अ वेरी सब्सिडाइज्ड रेट।
Amid the prevailing lockdown due to COVID-19 across the country, students of class 9th and 10th will now be provided education lectures via Doordarshan Bihar between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. in the morning. Students in the state are happy over the decision. Explanatory videos have also been prepared in order to clear the concepts online in a better way. First 30 minutes during the hour will be given to class 9th, while the students of class 10th will be given the notes in the next half an hour daily. And Begusarai District Education Officer Devendra Jha has welcomed the decision of the government. He revealed that over 85,000 students are already getting the benefit of such smart classes under online program. Well, we'll try and play the bite if ask my team if the bite can be played. But before that, let's also now scan through the developments from across the world in World Wrap. And let's begin with United States. US President Donald Trump has said that Republicans were close to getting a deal with Democrats on another legislative package to help alleviate economic damage done by the coronavirus pandemic. At a White House briefing, the President suggested that there could be a resolution by today. On the other hand, governors of many states are clamoring for more tests to detect new infections as well as to test for immunity as part of their plans to reopen their states and the economy. Meanwhile, New York continued to see hospitalizations decline to 16,000 from the high of 18,000, and the number of patients also kept alive. That number has improved. There were 507 new deaths, down from the high of 700 a day. United States has by far the world's largest number of confirmed coronavirus cases, with over 7,59,000 infections and over nearly 41,000 deaths. Italy witnessed broadly stable situation in place over the last 2 weeks, with the daily tallies of death and cases continue to slow down. Deaths from COVID-19 epidemic rose by 433 yesterday, the lowest daily tally in a week. The number of new cases also slowed to 3,047 from the previous 3,491. Italians across the country entered their 7th week in lockdown from today. The total death toll since the outbreak came to light on February 21st rose to 23,660, the second highest in the world after that of the United States, Total confirmed cases stood at 1,78,972. And Spain's death count from COVID-19 has surpassed the 20,400 mark, while a total of 1,98,674 cases have been registered in the country. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said he would ask the parliament for a third 15-day extension of the lockdown imposed to curb one of the world's worst outbreaks of the new virus, taking restrictions up to May 9th. Although he said children will be exempted from the new restrictions, they would be allowed to go outside after April 27th, though these relaxations would be subject to avoid contagion. Meanwhile, health staff from Spanish hospital La Paz clapped after taking a minute of silence to remember hospital's chief of surgery who succumbed to coronavirus. And France's Prime Minister said that country was starting to beat back the coronavirus as the outbreak death toll approached 20,000 yesterday. New hospitalizations continued a slow decline in France. French PM said that coronavirus situation in France is improving slowly but surely, while he also warned that the crisis was far from over. France has been in virtual lockdown for nearly 5 weeks, but it is due to start easing some confinement measures from May 11th. France registered 395 more deaths from coronavirus on Sunday, bringing the total to 19,744. In Britain, death toll from COVID-19 in hospitals rose by 596 mark yesterday. Yesterday's data tend to show a smaller increase in the number of fatalities, with a total of 16,060 deaths. UK is one of the 5 countries with more than 10,000 coronavirus casualties. Meanwhile, UK Cabinet Minister Michael Gove has denied reports that the government was considering easing restrictions within 3 weeks, with schools opening as soon as May 11th. He said any decision on lifting the lockdown would be based on advice from health experts. And in the wake of coronavirus pandemic, UAE Fatwa Council issued guidelines on fasting to Islamic communities around the world during Ramzan. The council warned against unusual practices and reminded that it is obligatory to follow the authorities' instructions and directions to avoid gathering and stop Friday prayers as a precautionary measure against communicable disease, risk that increases with mass gathering. The 5 fatwas issued by UAE Fatwa Council are as follows. It is permissible for COVID-19 patients and frontline workers while on duty are not to fast during Ramzan. Taraweeh prayers would be performed individually at home. However, the man of the house may lead the prayers for the family. Eid al-Fitr prayer individually at homes are to be taking place or in group with the respective family members without a sermon, as congregation would endanger lives. Duhur prayers also in place of Friday prayers, as it has its own congregational requirements, and if such requirements are not met due to some obstacles, then it is no longer valid. On zakat and zakat al-fitr, the council said it is permitted to pay zakat earlier. Time now for some experts' advice in Dr. Speak. An associate professor of medicine at Lady Hardinge Medical College, Dr. Yasir Islam, has said that the virus spread very rapidly and so the lockdown gave an opportunity to strengthen the social infrastructure. He added that restrictions, including social distancing and personal hygiene, should become a norm from now on till at least a year ahead.
Coronavirus is a difficult virus, not in terms of the disease it causes, but the rapidity, the way it spreads.
Right.
Its spread rate is very high. Every person who gets infected spreads around the virus to around 2.5 to 3%. So, those 3% will again spread the virus to further 3. So, if you calculate, it will lead to larger spread in the community.
Right.
What this lockdown did was, this community spread was halted and the number of cases slowed down.
Right.
So, that helped the government or even the healthcare workers to expand their healthcare systems to provide more number of testing, number of beds and the ventilator, which may be required once the cases increase, so that we are ready with the facilities whenever the patients come to the hospital. As an individual or as a society, we have to be more careful or more about the restrictions now. We have to maintain the social distancing, which should be the norm in the coming months or probably year also.
Right.
Social distancing and the personal hygiene, that should always be taken care of.
And that brings us to the close of the program. But remember to take good care of yourself and your loved ones while maintaining social distancing, and take care of yourself. Namaskar.